Welcome back one and all for the latest episode of the Good, the Bad and the Ugly at Liverpool FC podcast, brought to you by the LFC File and myself, Ben Green. Thanks very much for stopping by, and as always, if the content floats your boat, remember to like, subscribe, press the notification bell so you know when the next episode is available, and also leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe good, maybe bad, your choice. Without further ado, let's get into it with the good. And the good this week is simply the 2-0 win for Liverpool over Newcastle at Anfield last week. Very good result. What can you say? Professional performance, some would describe it as well. But whatever you want to say, it's resulted in Liverpool extending their lead over current second place team Arsenal to 13 points. But bearing in mind, Arsenal do have a game in hand. So the tables have turned somewhat to what they were a few weeks ago. Very pretty good performance. Actually can't complain. There was an early goal from Dominic Szoboszlai, turned in very nicely actually, on the volley? I don't know, he just hit it first time really. Nice pass from Luis Diaz, and he was able to just kind of fire it first time into the net. So pretty good start. That was after about 11 minutes. And Alex McAllister increased or doubled Liverpool's lead with a kind of very nice 1-2 with Mo Salah on the edge of the box, and firing in also first time past the despairing goalkeeper. And the Mail Online reported Liverpool 0, Newcastle 2, Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister fire Reds 13 points clear at the top of the table. 13 in capitals there, very, very important. And that's from Ian Ladyman there. And he goes on to just say Dominic Szoboszlai scored for the second game running to put Liverpool ahead. As I've always been saying so far for the last few weeks, Liverpool really do have this to lose. Very happy with that result. If we look at the stats there, we see Liverpool had 61.2% of the possession, which isn't really a surprise, to be honest, given their dominance in the game and the lack of threat from Newcastle. Was that because Isak was injured? I don't know. I think they should have enough in their team to replace him. But unfortunately, not against the Reds. Good result for Liverpool. All's good in the hood, and we move swiftly on to the not bad. For the not bad this week, we've got the Mirror with a report from Tom Sunderland. Liverpool receive financial boost with huge amount of money set aside for transfers. And then he goes on to say Liverpool are preparing to spend big in the summer transfer window, with the club facing the prospect of losing Mo Salah, Virgil van Dyke and Trent Alexander-Arnold for nothing, which we'll come on to a bit later. Huge amount of money? I'm not sure. Liverpool have never really been big spenders unless they sell someone. This is, as I say, this is something I'll mention in the ugly, but I'm not sure there'll be huge amounts swishing about. FSG have never been one to open their wallet too freely, let's put it that way. What he also says is, with only 4 months left on their Anfield contracts, the trio will be free to depart at season's end if nothing changes. The club is still hopeful of securing all three on new contracts, but also preparing for life without them. And I'll be interested to see who they bring in. And that really is tied very closely to the ugly this week. And for the ugly this week, I'm just going to mention the Echo, who have got a report by Paul Wheelock here, who says Liverpool transfer priority clear as unanimous summer spending verdict is delivered. So they made a poll among Liverpool supporters apparently to see who was the most replaceable and who wasn't. It makes quite interesting reading actually, but I wouldn't say, you can look at it and say, really? I think it's pretty rudimentary stuff, to be honest. So what have they got here? So they say, with question marks over the future of Trent Alexander-Arnold, and with a long-term successor to Andy Robertson needing to be found. 50% of people who voted said fullbacks were the most needed to be strengthened. That was followed by forwards, that was 24%, and midfielders 6%. I don't know why that is. And then 61% say that FSG would need to shell out more than 100 million on signings. And then 20% said between 80 and 100, and 8% said between 60 and 80. So some very interesting views there. I would be surprised if Liverpool paid out that much, to be perfectly honest. I think Richard Hughes and the rest of his team have probably done their homework, and I'm fairly sure that they've lined up a few surprises for us. When we look at the Liverpool team, there's the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, who's come in and done very well. All right, McAllister, we all knew. Lucho Diaz, I don't think many people expected him to come through the door. There's a lot of players actually who Liverpool bought in. Even Andy Robertson, I mean, he was at Hull and they got relegated in 2016-17, and Liverpool snapped him up, and what a revelation he's been. Right, it's maybe arguably past it now, but still another player that no one would have expected Liverpool to buy, and he's actually been a good servant for the club. And when the poll asked which of the three is replaceable, not surprisingly, 91% said Trent Alexander-Arnold, which I would agree with. Salah and Virgil van Dyke coming in at 5 and 4% respectively, which I would probably agree with. I would even say Van Dijk is probably a bit more important actually, and he was actually 48% of the vote said Van Dijk was irreplaceable, and Salah a close second on 46. Trent Alexander-Arnold only 6%, which doesn't really surprise me. And this is why I think out of the three, he's the one most likely to leave. So there you go. And with that in mind, and Liverpool not playing this weekend because of the FA Cup, which have been knocked out, there's not really much else to report other than to have a look at the exploits of FC Aki and Saltfish. And yes, we reached that point in the show where we do the weekly update of the world famous FC Aki and Saltfish Fantasy Premier League team. And for those that would have seen the update on Friday, it's basically a repeat of that. Mo Salah got 12. I played the bench boost, which didn't really work out as planned, unfortunately. But João Pedro chipped in with 8 and Flecken with 3, so that was 11 points there. Nkunku also had 12 in Chelsea's win. Luis Diaz 8 with his assist for Dominic Szoboszlai's goal, and Gabriel got 7. Okay, decent score, well above the average, far away from top, but it keeps me in the lead. And with that, we will move on to the league situation. And in the Dusseldorf Super League, still top, 110 points away from They Think It's All Over, who seem to have cemented their second place so far. So yes, 1,867 points. A nice haul so far, actually. I'm very happy with that. And on to the League of Kings, 1,776 points. Plays 1,648 for Mr. Chris Gale with his Overland and Sea. So a very comfortable lead there. I make that 128, something like that. So yes, all good in the FPL hood, and looking forward to the next game weeks. And I'm going to wrap it up there this week. It's a fairly short one from me for a change. Thanks for stopping by. If you're still here at this point, then as I often say, you're either a relative or a glutton for punishment, or of course someone with very discerning taste in a podcast. So thank you very much for that. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, press the like button and the notification bell, and please do leave a comment as well. Let me know your thoughts, especially on the transfer situation and on the survey which the Echo have undertaken there. Interesting results, not exactly surprising, but interesting nonetheless. I'll be interested to hear your views. And with that, I will bid you all a nice, sunny, although maybe a little bit chilly week ahead, and look after yourselves and one another. And until the next one, peace. UNFC File.